Hi, I'm Casey, homeschool mom, business owner, and lover of travel. Learning about finances is something that is super important and something that we all use in everyday life as adults, but it's not often taught in schools. So, I'm going to share some tips on teaching our kids about finances. This is a great crossover between being a business owner and a homeschool mom. However, you can utilize some of these strategies with just an allowance if you don't have a business or you don't want to pay your kids out of your business. But if you are a business owner, you can leverage that and pay your kids for working for you. As long as they're doing actual work, you can pay them, and it can be anything from being a model in your advertising or social media to working in an actual store for you. Now, I am not a tax advisor. This is just info that I have learned. Talk to your tax advisor for tax related questions. But if you own a business and you claim it on your taxes, you are allowed to pay your children. Currently, it's around $15,000 a year from your business per child. Now, that helps you out because that lowers what your take-home pay is when you're paying taxes. And because they are your biological children, they don't have to pay taxes on that income. So basically, you can take out around $15,000 for every one of your children per year off of your income taxes when it comes to paying taxes. Now, I am not suggesting that you just hand over $15,000 to your children, especially if they're really young. And that money cannot go to things like food, shelter, or clothing, but it can pay for everything else that you are already paying for your kids, and that you probably spend close to that every year on your kids anyway. So here's an example. You can set up a bank account for your children with their name on it, but as a minor, you would also be on that account. And if you find a bank that gives you bonus money for opening up an account, you just made extra money. Make sure to go see my videos about making money without working for more details on that. It becomes their money, but they don't get to use it on whatever they want. It's to be used for things that you would be paying for anyway. But now it's coming out of their account, and it gives them a sense of ownership and responsibility over the activities that they're in. So anything like sports, music lessons, outings like an excursion on a cruise can now all come out of this account. They then get to decide if something is worth spending that money on. Is gymnastics every single month? They're paying that. Is that worth it? Do they enjoy it that much? Or would they rather do something different with that? You can still give them some freedom in spending money and allow them to use some of it on whatever they want. You can also encourage them to save by paying them interest for any money that they keep in the account. And you can choose how much interest you want to pay. You can pay them 1%, you can pay them 5%, 10%. It's going to depend on what your budget is and also how much they're actually saving. Because if you start at 10% and now they've got $500 in the account or $5,000, that adds up really quick. But you can always adjust it as they get older or as the money grows in there. But if your kids are earning income, that means they are also able to contribute to a Roth IRA. So they're earning tax-free money that they can put into an account that can grow tax-free. And when it's time to pull it out, still no taxes because it's a Roth. Again, get your kids involved in the investing in their own futures. You can set up a 529 college fund for them. If the expenses are used for education, again, tax-free. If they don't use it on education, it can be rolled into a Roth IRA. You can set up a high yield savings account and save up for something that they're going to want in the future, like a car. You can get them involved in how much or what % of their income they want to put towards each category. So an example could be 20% each into a Roth, a 529 into a high yield savings account. And then 30% keep in the account for spending on activities, and then 10% spending on whatever they want to spend it on. In my daughter's case, that would be stuffed animals. We have so many stuffed animals. Now, you don't have to pay them the full tax allowed amount. It could be $5 to start if that's their allowance and that's what you have, but give them something that's theirs to work with. Then go over it regularly. Figure out what regularly looks like for your family. It could be once a month, once a week, whatever works for your family. With younger kids, it's better to use cash to count it out so they can actually see how much money it is and where it's going, and then you would do the actual investing for them. But for older kids that are capable of thinking in the abstract and don't need the physical money to see it and know where it's going, you can show them their accounts online, have them balance their own accounts, give them autonomy over their accounts, and let them do it. The older they get, the more responsibilities they have, and the better off they're going to be when handling their own finances as an adult. If this content was helpful for you, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel.